So welcome everyone, and thanks for joining TSBE this evening for the Cook by Cuts showcase of the Four Daughters brand with meat and livestock corporate chef and food service business manager Sam Burke. We're very, very fortunate to have Sam on board for this evening. So thank you, Sam, from the get-go. Your involvement has been fantastic. So tonight, guys, we're going to showcase how to successfully cook all the cuts in the Four Daughters Pink Box and talk about their natural fall program, and give you guys a bit of an understanding of where this product comes from and the passion that goes into the product and the product that you guys get on your table. So we're going to go through each of the cuts, preparation, recipe ideas, and we've got the Four Daughters with Car, maybe Dan in the background, we're not sure. So we've got Molly, Bonnie, Matilda, and Jemima all on deck for this evening, which is awesome. Look, I'm going to hand over to Sam Burke. You guys don't want to hear from me any further. Sam has an amazing history in the food service industry with over 25 years experience working with premium beef and all the proteins. So Sam, thank you very much for coming on board for tonight. And we can't wait to see what you're going to do with the Four Daughters Pink Box.
Good evening, Justin, and thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this presentation today. So all this started when we were discussing with Karen and about how passionate she was about her brand. And she actually sent a box down to Sydney all the way from southwest Queensland for us to do some new product development for a trade show that's coming up next year in 2022, Fine Food. So it was actually supposed to be last week, but it got called off because of COVID. So it's now been postponed, but that gives us a bit more time to be prepared and looking forward to that. So we'll touch on that later. But tonight, it's all about Four Daughters, Mum and Dad, Dan, and their wonderful company. So, and how it originated, Justin, you know, and I'm really passionate about producers, as you know, and tonight it's all about the Four Daughters family. So we'll start off with Mum. Karen, welcome to tonight. Introduce the family for me, please.
Hi, Sam and Justin. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey. Sam, we have the four girls, as you can see. I'm with Jemima. We're currently.
Well, Mum's frozen.
From Curry. They're like feeding those black Angus that we're talking about today and keeping our home fires burning.
Fantastic. And girls on the left here, introduce yourselves.
Yeah, hi, I'm Molly. I'm number 2 of the Four Daughters. I'm Bonnie. I'm the eldest. I'm Matilda. I'm the youngest.
Fantastic, girls. It's good to have you on tonight. And Karen is in regional Queensland, so she's on a fragmented connection. So if we lose her tonight, we'll just go to Molly and the girls back at home, and we're going to have some fun here, guys. We're going to learn about beautiful Australian beef. We're going to talk about natural fall. And let's get stuck into it, right? Let's not muck around. So, Karen, talk to me about how all this started. Four Daughters. I was talking to Molly a bit before we went live, and it all started with a few customers in 2018 at Beef Australia. Talk to us about how Four Daughters commenced.
Sam, yes, we are a family-operated beef enterprise in southwest Queensland, done for probably 20 plus years, and passionate about doing that. And we were blessed with four daughters, and girls have just grown up living in Burke. So we're passionate producing consistent, high-quality beef for the consumer, and we're passionate about sharing the story of provenance and why we do what we do, and we want to connect with city and country. So it's passionate, and it's about connecting, and it's about the next generation, the future of food production.
Fantastic, Karen. So you're in and out there a bit, so I'll just rehash that. So Four Daughters, really passionate about providing a good quality product, for a graded MSA product for the consumer, and just a family company. And that's what I love about working for MLA. It's about working with our producers to, showcase what I think is the greatest meat on earth. And tell us a bit about your cattle and how are they raised?
Look, Sam, our branded beef, our Four Daughters brand, we have lots of different cattle we provide to a few markets, but our actual branded program is a 150-day grain-fed Black Angus product. All of our cattle are born on grass, they're raised on grass, but to provide that consistent quality and the flavour, we finish our cattle in the.
So what Karen was just out telling us about
on a different program, but this one is 100 hours to make sure that we can meet that. Beef was sorry, Sam, might have had a delay.
Nah, all good, Karen. So I'll just rehash that. So 150-day grain-fed cattle. All the cattle starts on grass for the majority of its life, and then for the last 150 days, it's fed grain. Molly, talk to us a bit about that grain. You were telling me a bit about it before. What goes into the product?
Definitely. So the ration that we feed the cattle every single day is very scientific. We get a nutritionist in. It contains grains, hay, silage, and everything that they need to keep their guts healthy and to make sure that they put on the maximum amount of weight each day that they can.
So what Karen was saying there before, Molly, is that they start them on grass and then we finish them off on nutritious grain, and that provides a wonderful product that can achieve good eating quality with that beautiful Black Angus, which is a British breed. And then it goes to either the chef or the consumer. And I've cooked it, and it has a lot of marbling in the product as well. So what marbling is, for those of you joining in today, just both from the consumer and the food service side, is speckles of fat in the meat. And what that aids to is a nice tender product. And what we see with a lot of grain-fed product, it's got increased marbling, so that gives a tender cut of meat when cooking it. And that's not only the prime cuts, that's the whole carcass. And Natural 4, Karen, you're in and out, so I might go to Molly. Talk to us a bit about your Natural 4 program. What is that? Like, I've only just learnt about it recently from a colleague that's actually watching here tonight, David Carew. Talk to me, Molly. Natural 4, what does that mean for the Four Daughters brand?
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty much all about being sustainable, using every single cut that comes on an animal so that there's not a bit that's wasted. And yeah, just trying to use each cut to its best ability. So I think that's, trying to maintain the animal's provenance and history so that the customers have an idea of where the meats come from and to create a bit of a higher value.
So that's fantastic. So what that is, guys, is they're talking about is nose to tail appreciation for the animal. So it's utilizing all that animal. So when the customer buys it, they just don't buy the cut, they buy the whole animal, and then that gets utilized throughout their menu, whether it be braises, whether it be roasts, barbecue, curries, wet dishes, sandwiches. So we're seeing that more and more with big companies rather than just buying individual cuts. People are buying the whole animal, and then creative chefs are utilizing that whole beast in their menu to make an economic dividend, to make it cheaper on menu, and to also show their creativity. And more the customer is looking at these adventurous cuts. So it's an awesome way to show them on menu. And just another thing, I'll just touch on this. The Australian beef industry, guys, is looking to be carbon neutral by 2030. So it's programs like this that accelerate that goal for industry. So look, we've talked a bit about the Four Daughters, where you guys are, the benefits of marbling. Let's go through the cuts, right? So the first thing we're going to do today is I'm going to bring up a Word document that's got all of the dishes, the cuts that are in the Four Daughters pink box. And we're going to go through it, and we're going to give some menu ideation that's going to help the consumer or food service professional have success with this product on menu. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the outside flat roast, girls. So the outside flat roast is the silver side. It's MSA graded as a roasted cut. So what I want to talk to everyone about tonight is how to have success with that. So the first thing, your cut is about 2 to 2.5 kilos in the box. my tips are pull that roast out and let it come to room temperature. Then you've got that beautiful cap of fat on top of the silver side. We want to get sea salt, cracked black pepper, and rub it in. And then what I tend to do is I like to have a mirepoix. So a mirepoix in chef's terms is carrot, celery, and onion, right? So what I do is I put them in the bottom of my tray. I then sear my beef on the pan to get a nice caramelization and crust on the top of the silver side. Then I transfer that whole primal, the outside flat, on top of the mirepoix, the carrot, celery, and onion, into the oven. Now, for food service, they've got powerful combi ovens. So the heat there is about 160 degrees is where I have best success with it. But if you're at home in a conventional oven, let's take it to 180 degrees. Now, a lot of people get confused with how long do I cook it for? Do I prod it? Do I cut it in half? My tip to the consumer and food service professional is to use a meat thermometer, because it's about science then, guys. It's about having a graded product, using that meat thermometer. You've got that beautiful marbling in that product, and then taking it to the degree of doneness to get a nice medium rare consistency. For me, that's about 58 degrees up to 60 to 62 degrees Celsius. Because when you're resting that beef, the heat comes up. And it's important that we rest the beef before we carve it. And the reason why we do that, guys, is because it allows the juices to redistribute through the cut and gives a wonderful tender cut when you're cutting across the grain. So we cut across the grain to shorten the fibers, and that's what gives a beautiful roast result. So my tips are that, just going over that again, place the beef on top of the mirepoix, get all the beautiful flavors from those vegetables coming through while they're cooking. Sea salt, cracked black pepper, sear it off before you put it in the oven to get a nice caramelization, and then put it into the oven and ensure that you rest it prior to carving it. So if you go on australianbeef.com.au, what I'll do here, we've got actually a link which walks through those steps, step by step, to help the consumer out. So I'll just share this right now, share my screen.
I believe
disabled.
Put the link into the chat box. So if anyone was looking in the chat, the link to that recipe is up in that.
That's the best way. And Justin, if you mind just disabling the share screen so I could share that, that'd be fantastic too. So the next cut, what I'm going to talk about is the T-bone. And I've actually got a video here tonight to show people how to cook the T-bone. Now, what I'm going to do, what I love about the T-bone steak, guys, is that there's two sides of the cut. There's the bigger side, which is the sirloin, New York cut, porterhouse. And then on the other side of the bone is the smaller cut. So that is the eye fillet. So when it sits on the cattle, the sirloin's up the top and the tenderloin is underneath. And then the beautiful thing I love about the T-bone is you've got that wonderful bone in the middle that's a good insulator, and it provides a lot of flavor to the cut as well when you're cooking it. So let me share this screen and let's have a look at me cooking the bistecca in my backyard. So, yep, that's working now. Share the sound, optimize the video clip, share the screen. And here we go.
Hey, Sam, it's not sharing. That's it. Beautiful.
Try that again. Hi, Sam Burke, Meat and Livestock Australia. I'm here to show you creative ways to cook over fire. Why? Because cooking red meat over fire is liberating. It provides theatre, romance, and flavour. Today's cut is a thick T-bone, Bistecca L Florentina. It was served centuries ago in Florence to customers, and it was served with salt, pepper, and olive oil over a flaming grill. Today, I'm going to replicate that in my own back garden. So the cut is about 2.5 to 3 inches thick, so it's a big cut of meat. What we're going to do is let this come to room temperature for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then we're going to season it with salt and pepper and a drizzle of olive oil, and then take it over and cook on our flaming char grill. So the first step, olive oil, straight over the cut. Now we only want to put a little bit of olive oil because there's some great marbling in this steak here. So we're just going to lightly press that in. We don't have to add oil to the fat because the fat's got enough fat to render down and cook wonderfully. Repeat the process, turn the steak, and this has got a wonderful marbling. Marbling provides flavour. So make sure, if you've got some good marbling, it's a good thing, not a bad thing. Sea salt over the top. I've got some sea salt flakes here. I find it kind of melts into the steak. And that provides a wonderful result when it comes to seasoning. The sides as well, don't forget them. Next, our cracked black pepper, and that's ready for the char grill. And now for the salad. We've got these wonderful radicchio leaves. We've got the thyme, the olive oil, and we're just going to dress this radicchio and then flame grill it just lightly over the char grill to accompany our steak. We've got our pear here. It's nice and thin. We've added some lemon water to stop it from browning. This will add a nice sweetness to the radicchio of the salad. Let's go over and get our radicchio and beef onto the grill. So we want to get the steak on nice and hot, and then we've raised the plate to finish it off at a moderate heat. When we start seeing the juices come to the top, it's time to turn our steak. For a cut like this, we're looking at about 20 to 30 minutes. We want to get an internal temperature of about 58 degrees because when it rests, it's going to come up to 62 to 65, which will provide a wonderful medium rare steak. Using the rosemary brush is a lovely way of basting the steak, providing a bit of feta and adding flavour. Our steaks are almost ready now, so it's important to rest the steaks for half the amount of cook time. This will allow the juices to redistribute to the end and give a wonderful eating experience. And there it is, the perfect bistecca. I can't wait for you to join me next time in my backyard where we create more Aussie red meat dishes over the coals. All right, guys. So, look, with the pink box T-bones, they're a lot thinner than those bisteccas. They're about, I think they were about 2 centimetres, Mum was telling me. And that's fine because you've got bigger primals, but the cooking method remains the same. You take it to the degree of doneness, you rest it for half of the cooking time, and then you eat it. So what I love about that cut, like I said, we'll just quickly go over that again. You got the beautiful taste of the sirloin and then the tenderloin on the other side. A lot of people don't know that the tenderloin, the eye fillet, is the little cut on the T-bone. So there's a bit of information there for anyone that didn't know that. So let's go through our next cut. So the next cut we're going to talk about today on the $4 pink box is we've gone through is the sliced rump. So the rump is another cracking steak, and in Queensland, in the big pub groups, it's the best-selling steak on the menu. Why? Because it's full of flavour and it's so versatile. It can be utilised. There's the picanha, which is the top of the rump, which is used in Latin countries as on spit roast or cook large whole steaks. There's the roast beef, and then there's a pillow steak underneath that, and it just eats well. So once again, girls, tell me what do you like to do with rump steak, Molly, on your menu? You know, when you're cooking at home, or any of the 4 daughters, in fact.
Yeah, Bon, you're up. Well, we're suckers for just a medium rare rump steak along with some chip salad and a bit of Diane sauce. So that's probably our regular. But we also have a tendency to turn the last bit of rump into crumb steak because we're big crumb steak fans as well. So not often does it get a chance to be roasted. It's always just steak. So our quick and easy option is steak on the barbecue.
I'll tell you what, girls, my mum who's watching tonight grew up in Toowoomba, and my grandmother who resided in her last years on the Gold Coast, she was all over Maroochydore, Capella, all over Queensland, right? Her favourite dish for us was the good old crumb steak, and I haven't heard it for ages. It's a traditional country dish, and that's just a salute to Queenslanders, I reckon. They love it. So what we've done today is we've offered. I'll share this page again, and it's in the chat box for people that want to see. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share screen too, and just make sure we do that. And then I'm going to bring this up, right? So we've got the recipes here for people on AustralianBeef.com. So what I'll do is I'll just control and click that, and that'll come up, hopefully. Here we go. So there's a wonderful Korean rump stir fry that you can do at home. But I've got one extra thing I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys today. So I decided to go out and do my own dish. Now, this wasn't with the rump steak. However, it was with the sizzle steak. And I wanted to show, just diversity of what you can do rather than just having the sizzle steak as a steak sandwich. So I did this little video this morning with my daughter editing it, and I'm going to show it to you guys right now. And it's a stir fry, and it just ties in well with, the topic. It doesn't have to be rump. You can utilize other cuts as well, as long as they're MSA graded and they fall under the grading cook method of stir fry. So here we go. Let's have a look at a dish that I did live in my backyard this afternoon.
Now here's a cracking beef stir-fry noodle dish. Our turmeric noodles to the left, flat noodles, fantastic. Our beef, 1 millimetre cut across the grain. I'm using topside today. We've got our lemongrass, kaffir lime, garlic, ginger, bird's eye chili, Spanish onion, broccoli, both the stems and the florets, heirloom carrots, cashew nuts, hoisin sauce, soy sauce, and pineapple sweet chili sauce. Okay, let's get the wok nice and hot with our oil. Straight in with the garlic, the ginger, the lemongrass, the kaffir lime, the chili, and let's get that stirring around straight away. We don't want to muck around. Intense heat, fast cooking. Straight in with the sizzle steak. Get a nice caramelization. So there's our beef in the 1/3 gastro tray. Let's set it aside. Wok, hot, oil, let's get it smoking. Spanish onions, straight in, followed by our broccoli stems. Give them a good stir fry, incorporate those flavors together. Then in with the heirloom carrots. Now what I like to do is just add a little bit more oil just to bring it all together and really get those vegetables caramelized. Next step, let's kill the heat and get in our broccoli florets. There's enough heat in that wok to finish up the dish. I've then added my turmeric flat noodles and we're incorporating them all together with the vegetables. In with our hoisin sauce. Make sure we get it all out of the gastro. Pineapple sweet chili, soy, and then we bring all those sauces together with the vegetables and the turmeric noodles. So we've got our noodles and we've added our vegetables. It's time to reintroduce the beef straight into the wok. Give it a good stir and let's incorporate all those ingredients together. I love cashew nuts for crunch, so just add a few of them right at the end. And then finally, I like to do a squeeze of lemon because I find the lemon cuts through the soy and gives it a nice, fresh addition to the dish. And there you have it. There's your perfect beef stir fry in about 5 minutes. So the key, hot pan, have all your prep ready, have the method in your head. Once you get the fire going, there's no turning back. And there it is, a simple dish that you can do in under 5 minutes with Australian beef on your menu, whether it's consumer or food service.
So I'll just stop share that, guys. So that is a stir fry that can be done either with the rump or you can utilize the sizzle steak like I did in that example. Now, the thing is, for everyone tuning in today, whether you're the consumer or the food service professional, what we call it in food service is mise en place, preparation. You must have, sorry, my video cut out. You must have your preparation done before you start the wok. There's no use running around getting sauces and vegetables and onions together. You have to have everything ready because the cooking process is so fast that you can get flustered and make a mess of the dish. So my tip to you guys is follow the recipe, get everything prepared, think about what's going into the pan time after time, and then creating the dish. You know what I mean? So think about the run of the method and then cook that dish, you know. Otherwise, that's how people have problems with stir fry. They stick it all in the wok at once and then it stews rather than grilling. And at the end of the day, the consumer or the food service professional has paid good money for the protein. We want to make sure that they're having success, whether it's a Pink Daughters, a Four Daughters pink box, or whether it's any type of beef on menu. So that's my recommendation for the perfect stir fry. So that can be found on our Australian beef website. Now, the next thing, mince, guys. What do you ladies do with mince on your menu? And Karen, if you're in, happy for you to unmute too, because I can't see if you're on or not, just because I can't see your face. So Karen, talk to me about one of your home's favourites with mince. Savoury mince on toast, spaghetti bog, what?
Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Coming through.
Great. Terrific. Look, we love mince. I'm a big meatball maker. So I love to just whip up meatballs and I actually bake them in the oven. And I find that the mince, because it has that, again, the intramuscular fat, they are really moist even when they are sort of a baked meatball. So that's probably, and as you say, every family has, I make a spaghetti pie. Look, we do lots. Tortillas, lots of dinners that we do with our mince, and the richness of the Four Daughters mince, or the Black Angus mince, does have a flavour all of its own.
Yeah, well, there you go. You summed it up, Karen. You summed it up in your summary there. The good thing about mince is just so versatile. And, don't only think spaghetti bolognese or hamburgers. There's much more you can do with it. And here's an example I'm just going to show today. I'm going to share this quickly on my screen again. It's from our website, and it's a Middle Eastern beef and pine nut pizza. So essentially, guys, you're cooking the mince and then you're chilling it down and then you're using it as a pizza topping. So that's a nice pizza that can be done for the family. Very easy to do too. Family or consumer pizza base. If you're time poor, have all your mise en place ready. Spread the mince on with your spice mix there. In that case, it's the cumin, coriander, cinnamon. So it's a bit of a 7-spice, a tribute to 7-spice, if you like. Some butternut, pumpkin, Lebanese breads we use in this recipe. However, you can use a pizza base as well. And then your pizza sauce or your pomodoro, some onion, grape tomatoes, mozzarella, pine nuts, spinach, and then a big bit of Greek yogurt to drizzle over the top. Now, that is a consumer recipe. We've also got some food service recipes, which I'll go through shortly when we talk about Rare Medium Academy. So I'll just share that again. Apologies, I didn't share. So that's where it's located, and you'll find that recipe in the chat box. And also all these recipes we're talking about today will be on the Four Daughters social media channels. Is that correct, Karen? Yep.
Yes, Sam. Yes, yeah. we have posted to those.
Fantastic. So the next one is the sausages. That's part of your box too, and that's another thing that can be utilised. People just don't think breakfast sausage. Don't think just a sausage sandwich. You can take the sausage out of its skin, stir fry it in a pan, use it as part of a ragu or a pizza topping. Fantastic, You in this recipe that I'm about to share with you guys, right? So I'll just share it again, and I'll make sure I share it this time. What we've got, let me just bring the page up. Share screen 2. Share is an Indian sausage, lentil, and potato one pan. So that's another consumer recipe that can be versatile, economical, and just take the humble snag to the next level. So that can be found on the Greatest Meat on Earth Australian beef website as well. So you have a few flavors in your pink box. Talk to me a bit about them, Karen.
Sam, we do stick with the traditional beef. We also make sure they're gluten-free. But we also have a gourmet sausage, again, that's gluten-free. So we've had a few different flavors. Tomato and basil is been the latest, herb and garlic, or a smoky bacon. So we do vary that every couple of months, just to put a bit of a change there, so that people can have different opportunities of tasting different meat. I used the tomato and basil recently. Again, I actually cut them into small pieces and baked them and called them my Cheats meatball, and they had the straight from the tomato and basil flavouring straight away, and it was a really easy way to feed a lot of people in a hurry.
Fantastic. So that's part of the pink box, and